Welcome to the Deep Focus podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking about Disney Plus, WandaVision, and all the amazing original content that has been announced. But first,
Five God on the beat.
welcome to this beautiful Friday afternoon's episode of the Deep Focus podcast. As always, I'm your co-host Varun, and podcasting from the white corner, standing at 5'9", regardless what he says.
Damn it.
Born in Pakistan, podcasting out of Surrey, British Columbia. Murad, what's up?
The crowd's going wild. No.
As you're yawning, literally as you're yawning.
Isn't that what the crowd sounds like? No?
Mhm.
Okay. Whatever. The crowd loves me, right? No, man, I'm good. I'm enjoying the sunny weather. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I've been able to go out for walks and staying away from people because A, there's a pandemic, and B, I'm antisocial. I just like to stay in my room and chill. So I'm enjoying myself, man. How are you?
Man, I've been better.
Oh,
So people may not notice, but Murad really dropped the ball this weekend.
hey,
Are two things I want to pick your brain about
my brain?
and call you out on. First things first. How do you let me record with my raggedy ass beard, with my little mustache all over the place? I was even groomed properly. I don't even look at myself while we're recording. I'm looking
You
at
don't?
you. No, I look at you. I'm making eye
Oh.
contact, man.
That's
That's how
That's
conversations
sweet, thank
work.
you.
So thanks for letting me look like that on camera in front of our 18 subscribers on YouTube. You know,
Yo, we love those
we're-
18.
we're moving on up. And two, thank you, Murad, for doing a great job editing our podcast this weekend. Thank you.
God damn
So
it.
luckily, most of our listeners right now finds us on YouTube, among many other platforms such as Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you get your media information. Murad, thank you for loading up the entire YouTube video on YouTube, thanks to my wife's assistance, as always, at Rupi Minhas. But Murad only posted the latter half of our podcast on Spotify and wherever else you get your podcasts. And we didn't notice this until, no, let's track that back. I didn't notice this until a few days ago.
Oh,
Murad
no.
apparently listens to our podcast all the time and right away. I think he's bullshitting, guys, because as I mentioned previously, I don't listen to our podcasts. I happen to, you know what? I'm gonna think about, you know what? I'm gonna listen to this today. I'm like, why is our podcast only 16
You know,
minutes long?
you wanna know why I did that?
It's
Because
never
it
16
was
minutes.
it
No,
was a
you,
test. It was a test. It was a test.
yeah, it wasn't a test to your failure as
Oh no. You turned that around.
as an editor. So Murad did act quickly when I did tell him about this. So thank you for fixing your screw up. So please, guys, remember you can find us on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, on Anchor, on YouTube, on Twitter at the Deep Focus Pod, and on Instagram at the Deep Focus Pod. And you can email us any questions, comments, and dislikes, hate mail, whatever, at
Man,
the Deep Focus Podcast at
wow.
gmail.com. Hey, man, interaction. At this point, I want some things coming in. One thing I want to start doing, I haven't told Murad yet, but I like to start at the beginning of every month, start doing mailbag questions. Right. So on Friday, when this goes up, I'll be sending out a questionnaire on our social media accounts for you to submit us questions to us, get to know us, type of things you want to talk about, anything like that at all. That'd be awesome. I would love to talk to whatever amount of fans we have already. And you guys are loyal to us. You want to at least get your feedback. That's it, man. I'm gonna call you out on your BS. Good night. No, psych.
I want to let the record show that I asked how you were doing, and then you just reamed me out. So like, I get it, and like, I don't really care how you're doing now, but like, how are
What
you?
I answered. I said not
I
good.
know, I know, but like, come on, I can't be causing all of your hardships.
Well, you
I
are.
cause my parents hardships. That's it. They're the only people I cause hardships to. Guess
Okay.
not.
No. Um, so since Murad let us down again without a fun fact of the week this week, as always, fun fact Fridays. Hey, this is an old fact that I've known from the past, but I don't know if you knew about this. So last week we talked about Training Day,
Hmm.
and which so I watched the movie again. And when I watch these movies, I did go into a little bit of research,
Hmm.
and there was a couple of interesting casting what ifs
Hmm.
for Training Day. Did you know who the original cast members were for Training Day before they got Denzel and Ethan Hawke?
Uh, no, and I can't even guess. I don't even see anyone else in that role.
Who would you who would you guess? You have to guess. So for both roles,
I can't. I genuinely can't. I don't know.
like don't cop out. Don't
Okay,
cop out. Come on, man.
I don't know.
Do,
For
do, do,
Denzel,
do, do, do.
are you playing the Jeopardy song?
Attempting to. I am fairly tone deaf, so I wouldn't be surprised if no one caught
Uh,
that.
who can play Denzel's role better than him in that movie? I don't know. I'm copping out. I'm copping out. Hit me with it.
Boo! So Murad doesn't do this for the people, but I did the research. Samuel L. Jackson
Oh,
was
okay.
originally set to star for Training Day with another young star at that time, Matt Damon. What a completely different movie that would have been. Like you
Wow.
mentioned, like you mentioned, I can't imagine any other two people in this role now.
Yeah.
This movie is iconic in a million
Mhm.
different ways. I'm glad it turned out the way it did.
Yeah.
But those were the original cast members for Training Day. I'm glad it didn't work out. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens
Yeah.
for a
No,
reason,
I know. I know.
right? Like Will Smith turning down Django, right?
Yeah, that was, you know, that
For that movie with his son that looked terrible. I haven't seen it yet, and I watched every Will Smith movie.
which not Gemini Man. That was the recent
No, no,
one,
no,
The
no,
Pursuit of Happiness,
no. It was a sci-fi movie.
After Earth.
Was that the one where they go on? They
Yeah.
travel somewhere, and yeah.
Some
So he
yeah.
picked that movie over Django, and he picked Wild Wild West over Matrix.
Was it Matrix or Mission Impossible?
Matrix.
Oh damn.
Yeah, man.
He gambled bad on that one.
So bad.
I
Come on,
know.
come
He
on,
turned
Big
down two
Willie.
westerns, eh? To make just real
No, no,
just
no.
no,
He did. He didn't turn down Wild Wild
he
West. He
didn't turn
chose
down he
Wild
put
Wild
down one
West.
western and he picked up the
So
other.
it went to Keanu, which eventually did cast Will Smith's wife,
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith, in the movie after an unfortunate loss of Aaliyah, who was supposed to be in the third Matrix movie.
Mhm.
But yeah, what you been watching, man? What's going on?
Uh, I've I finally watched WandaVision, and I know I have the biggest smile on my face because I think that show incorporates so many technical abilities and so many technical Easter eggs all in
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
Oh my God! And I know last week I clowned on 4:3 aspect ratios, especially when Zack Snyder did it. But like, oh man, I really liked it when they were in the 50 show and it was 4:3, and then slowly went down to 16:9, and then it went to full widescreen. Though, like them playing around with things like that, there's nothing greater to me than a director's ability to look at those technical things and make those creative decisions to implement those things. And it was so well done. And I know everyone has already thought about this, everyone's already gone through this, but I'm going through it now, and oh man, it's a good time. So WandaVision, And I'm really excited. I'm excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier to finish so I can binge that.
Yeah. Well, I spoilers ahead for WandaVision. It's been about 3 to 4 weeks since the series ended. So if you haven't watched it by now,
What's going on, man?
why?
Why?
And we're pretty much locked down, so you should have the time.
Hmm.
And to maybe skip forward to the podcast to Hot or Not, because going forward there will be a few spoilers coming up regarding the show.
Hmm.
Uh to WandaVision. The first 2 or 3 episodes were I hate the reason the word slow. Like it's not a word I like to use because it was definitely building up to something bigger.
Hmm.
And the thing I loved about WandaVision, besides the visual, besides the not the homage to these original sitcoms that, as you guys know already, I'm obsessed with sitcoms.
Hmm.
Especially when they did Malcolm in the Middle and then Modern Family. I
Yes.
absolutely fell in love with that.
Yeah.
But eh, WandaVision did just enough to keep you interested and
Hmm.
keep it going on this. And when it got to episode 4, when they eventually tied everything together,
Hmm.
so many theories going through all of our heads,
Yeah.
which may have been I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. I wish I didn't have these theories because these theories caused me to have this big idea how the finale should happen, how the ending should
Hmm.
happen. Like I thought characters like Manifesto will show up. I thought there'd be a Mr. Fantastic,
Hmm.
cameo when they
Hmm.
mentioned they know a scientist that could help you with this. When
Hmm.
they, brought Evan Peters back, right?
Yeah.
We thought we're getting the crossover that I really wanted.
Yeah.
It really ended up being a 9 episode boner joke. Right? Like it's
Wow.
right? Like
Okay.
it's
Well.
like it sucked that happened in that way because we built as fans built this massive ending
Hmm.
where a potential Doctor Strange might come. Like, we had all these different theories,
Hmm.
and I rewatched the show again because my wife didn't watch it, and so we finally binged it together.
Nice.
And reliving, like, man, I can't believe I thought all of this was going to happen. That's the only downside for it. It was nothing to do with Marvel screwing up,
Hmm.
even though I wish they did a little more with Evan Peters' character
Hmm.
instead of making this massive boner joke. But at the same time, it just shows that Marvel is not going to just bring everyone over. They are going to reset on a lot of different things, except for
Hmm.
Deadpool, which I know Ryan Reynolds will be reprising his role in a third movie.
Hmm.
But it's just that hurt a little bit more than anything else. But other than that, if I rule all that out and just took it just as a TV show, and if I didn't know anything going into it, which again, my wife, she doesn't follow the comic book. She didn't know all the backstory.
Hmm.
And watching it through her eyes, she absolutely enjoyed the show
Hmm.
from beginning to end and appreciate it for what it's worth.
Hmm.
You can
I'm
tell
gonna.
Disney spent a lot of money on this. I think it was
Hmm.
20 million per episode.
What? I didn't. I
I
didn't.
want to say. I want to say.
Whoa.
I'm gonna look this up. But what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say I'm in opposition to you.
Okay.
I 100% agree with the Evan Peters point, and they should have sort of weeded that character out a bit more. However, yes, the first 3 episodes were slower, and then when they tied everything together, you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. But those 3 episodes, I was hooked. I was
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like, and even like that weird part where the guy in like the hazmat suit came up and he was like covered in all black. Oh my god, that scared the bejesus out of me, dude. I was.
You mentioned that, but that's one scene though. So that's what I'm trying to say. It was a good. The first 3 episodes were good episodes,
Mhm.
and if you didn't know anything about the Marvel universe or the comic books, they were good episodes. But then
Mhm.
they just bring that one little nugget into the episode, like, holy crap, what is that?
Mhm.
Episode over, 10-minute credit, and then like
Mhm.
we have to wait till the next episode.
No, but even like the small little things like that little helicopter that was colorized. And
Yeah.
like little things like that, those little Easter eggs, yeah, they were slow, but I also grew up loving like TV shows from the 50s, I Love Lucy and the Honeymooners and things like that. So I was all for it. And from the way that their theme song changes over time, and how they turned a TV show within a TV show, to the writing from start to finish, it seemed like they had planned this out. And I love the fact, I know we're gonna talk about this a bit later, but I love the fact that Marvel takes the time to make these shows individual shows. And it's not like, oh, we know you like this because you like the Avengers. No, we know you like this because you like the Wanda Maximoff and the Vision storyline. Like you really invest into them as characters, and you learn about their weaknesses and their vulnerabilities. So I I top to bottom, the writing on this show I think is some of the best that I've ever made, like seen in a while. You know, they so I definitely think writing wise, there's so much that was happening and they tied everything together really, really well. And they had this idea of start to finish, where they wanted to start, where they wanted to in the middle, and all those little chunks, and then they wanted to finish it off in a way where you're left wanting more, but it's not like this, oh my god, I can't wait, and then everyone's gonna be let down, Game of Thrones style. So I haven't seen writing like that since, I want to say, Mad Men.
Okay. You know,
You can
I'm
disagree with me
sure.
if you want.
Oh, I absolutely will disagree with you, but that's a whole different conversation.
Hmm.
But that's where the Disney Plus series in general, when it comes to
Hmm.
Star Wars or the Marvel shows, is that these character developments
Hmm.
have been absolutely amazing.
Hmm.
And this will lead to a spoiler-free review of the first two episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because I know, Murad, you haven't watched it yet. And the second
Hmm.
episode just came out last Friday. Third episode will be out by hopefully by today.
Hmm.
But it's so first two episodes definitely a lot more fast paced,
Hmm.
but the character development has not gone away. And
Okay.
I'm very curious on how, especially Bucky's storyline. Like we're actually learning a lot more Bucky about it now, and also learning a lot more about Wilson's character as the Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie.
Hmm.
And they're really going into the whole post superhero life, post war life for these two, without spoiling anything. So, no, again, this show is taking place after Endgame. Well, the world has changed. There's no more Captain America, no more Iron Man, and the U.S., especially U.S. government, is looking for that new Captain America. And now both um, Winter Soldier and Falcon are trying to adapt to this world.
Hmm.
And what's really got me invested in the Winter Soldier's character is that he's currently in the first episode. Again, not spoiling any details away, but he's going through therapy, talking about his past
Hmm.
and the nightmares he's going through of all the people he's murdered, and he's finally dealing with that.
Hmm.
So I'm really curious on how that's gonna unfold. Also unfolding all the apparent heartbreaks we're gonna get in the series. I haven't. This is what I read online when it comes to reviews. So I'm really curious how this will handle so far. But like, bravo Disney Plus and bravo Marvel, bravo Disney for creating these shows
Hmm.
where they capture our interest, whether it's a slower pace, a fast pace, action packed, more of a character development. We're getting
Hmm.
we're knowing these characters on a basis where we wouldn't have in a movie,
Right.
right? Like how many movies have we seen the Falcon in now? And now we're finding about more about his family and his personal life.
Right.
And with the Winter Soldier, regardless of how much of a hero he is now, we're going to find out more about him handling all the sins
Hmm.
he's done, all the
Hmm.
chaos he's caused. Like we're not just going to forget about it. We're going to continue with it. So I thought that's a great job by that. But going back to WandaVision real quick, my favorite thing about the whole episode is finally about the whole series is finally calling Wanda by her superhero name, Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys knew the whole backstory about that, but Scarlet Witch was part of the Marvel universe. So that's why even in every single Marvel movie by Disney, they don't refer her as a Scarlet Witch because Marvel did not have the rights for that.
Oh,
So
I didn't
that,
know that.
yeah, so not a lot of people did. So I thought that was amazing. Like, I know, like when Agatha was like, "Oh, the Scarlet Witch," like a lot of people was like, "Oh, it's kind of cheesy, corny." Well, I'm sitting at the edge of my seat. I'm like, "Yes,
They did
finally,
it.
he
Yeah.
did it." It's like in Endgame when Captain America said "Avengers Assemble." That was never Marvel never owned the rights to that saying, right? Avengers
You can own
Assemble,
rights to sayings.
yeah, so that's not the
Oh.
staple into in and the Marvel comic books when
Mhm.
and to do the Avengers, but to finally get that saying Avengers Assemble, like I lost my shit, right?
Yeah, I
The whole
cried when that scene happened, man.
yeah, the to the left, everything, but again, no, going off topic,
Yeah.
but like again with the whole Scarlet Witch is like the crossovers clearly are finally coming through. We still don't know how it's going to happen. We still have let's see the rest of the series to go to with Falcon and Winter Soldier and a bunch of new movies from Marvel before the end of the year. So very exciting stuff. And to continue on with the Disney Plus, Star Wars,
Oh man, Star
Star
Wars.
Wars,
Star Wars.
Star Wars, Star Wars,
Oh, Star Wars.
Star Wars,
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
War of Stars. Let's go.
Okay, now, so Murad just ruined it. So we'll go
Yep.
back to topic here.
David.
um, I'm I'm excited for the future of Star Wars,
Hmm.
and not because we're getting more Star Wars. Like that's an obvious thing,
Hmm.
but I'm excited because I feel like since the original trilogy, so not episodes 1 to 3, but no episodes 4, 5, and 6, since the original trilogy has come out,
Hmm.
the movies after that had has mixed feelings.
Hmm.
Some people have liked them, some people not as much. But with the Mandalorian so far, it's perfect,
Hmm.
and it's going to continue with perfect.
Hmm.
And with the track record of these Marvel shows, I feel like for Star Wars success, especially coming off Clone Wars and Mandalorian, I feel like this will be the future success story of Star Wars.
Hmm.
I'm sure movies will still continue to come out for the Star Wars franchise, but with the Obi-Wan cast being announced earlier this week and the date for the post Clone Wars coming out, Bad Batch,
Hmm.
I'm excited for that. That's coming out on May 4th. So what are your thoughts about that? Like, I do think we'll continue seeing more like the same quality
Yeah.
in these shows compared to the Mandalorian, or are we gonna see the inconsistencies that we might have seen from the movies?
So I think in a universe as grand and as filled with fan uh love as Star Wars, I think TV shows is 100% the best way to go. And I think the same thing with Marvel. And I was gonna say this earlier, but I think it ties in really well with both Marvel and Star Wars, not just one or the other. But we've seen the genesis of all of the main characters, like we've seen the genesis of Rey, we've seen the genesis of like Darth Vader and things like that. But then all of these other characters in the Star Wars universe, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and in the Marvel universe, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like you don't see their main parts of the movies, but you don't know what makes them tick, right? And I think giving characters like those who are fascinating, but when you give them more room to breathe in the form of a TV show rather than a 2 hour movie, you really give the writers a long time to tell a story, and it comes out a lot better. So I have really, really high hopes for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series because of how good John Favreau has made The Mandalorian, right? Like I loved Django and Boba Fett as a character because I thought they were the coolest people. Like they're quiet and they just get shit done.
Yeah,
So when when Disney gave John Favreau the green light to really expand the Mandalore lore, then you really gave them the time to build a universe and not use green screen, but use like sets and these things to really make the universe feel so much more involved than the movies, right? Because in a 2 hour movie, you have so many different plots going at the same time, whereas in a show, you just have this one character's arc over 10 episodes, right? And then you have like 5 hours of worth of information that you can really dive into. And so I think the future's looking bright. I'm super, super excited. If the Mandalorian and WandaVision is, and I know they're two separate universes, but if they're a sign of what things are going to come, oh man, it's looking good for Disney Plus, and rightfully so, because they take so much time to make it so good.
John Favreau has been really killing it for Disney.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know how much Disney is paying him, but it's clearly not enough.
Right.
He did introduce us to the. He is the OG, the Godfather to the MCU because he was Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it comes to the live action remakes of these DC's movies, like the Jungle Book, I thought was better than the original. I
Mm-hmm.
was actually never a fan of the cartoon. I thought that was fantastic. Mandalorian obviously has been great.
Mm-hmm.
Lion King, I was not a fan of, but it was still a beautifully made movie. You know what? Not no one was perfect. So
Mm-hmm.
John Favreau like is gonna continue to crush it for Disney. Whenever he's get a pay raise, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm with
I'm
you.
sure
Like,
he's gonna listen and be like, I think I deserve a pay raise. These guys are right.
man, if he's listening, I will somehow contribute to that pay raise.
Yeah.
It won't be much.
Some
But
change, but it's a thought that counts, John Trevor. We love you.
I'll pay for his Amazon Prime account. How about that?
You know what? If Jeff Bezos pays for our Amazon account, John Favreau, you're the next one in line, bro.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm excited.
Mhm.
You're excited. I'm excited. May the 4th is not that far off. We'll get that pretty
Mhm.
soon. And with that, let's take a quick break
Yeah,
and we'll come back with my favorite segment, Hot or Not.
let's go. And welcome back, listeners. Now it is time for our favorite segment, Varun's favorite segment, as he said it before the break, hot or not. Now, Varun, I know there's a lot of cool things that were announced. There were a lot of cool castings that were made. So I want to start us off if that's cool with you. I want to talk about Woody Harrelson, and I'm not sure how you feel about Woody Harrelson. I personally think he's so cool. So Woody Harrelson is set to star in a new movie, which is an adaptation of a book. The book was called The Man with the Miraculous Hands, and I think the movie title is going to be the same, or is this going to be Miraculous Hands? Which sounds suggestive. Maybe, I don't know. But the book is essentially about the doctor, a Finnish doctor who was doctor to Heinrich Himmler. And for those of you who don't know Heinrich Himmler, he was one of the higher ups in Nazi Germany, and one of the architects of the final solution, which eventually then led to the Holocaust. So a very sad topic, but the book itself is a true story about a doctor who helped Heinrich Himmler. And this sounds evil, I know, but just hear me out. Who helped Heinrich Himmler with like abdominal problems because he was a miracle worker, and all the while also slowing down Himmler's attempt to carry out the rest of the Holocaust. So in turn, he actually saved a lot of lives. And so this is a movie that is, I think, gonna be really cool because it's a really cool World War II, and I love historical dramas and especially war movies. And I have a weird infatuation with learning more about the inner workings of Nazi Germany because from the surface it's a very taboo subject, but when you dive deeper, there's so many weird inconsistencies and weird myths that come up. So I'm really excited for this movie. Varun, what do you think?
No, I'm down for the movie. It is a little bit heavy in the heart, it sounds like, when it comes to the
Mhm.
topic, but I'm going to say hot because I love Woody Harrelson.
Oh, thank you.
Woody Allen, I could live without. But Woody
Really?
Harrelson, yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's nothing to do with his work.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing to do with his work.
Yeah. Him as a
But
pair.
Woody,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah, yeah. But Woody Harrelson, no, I'm in. Um, I've in all the dramas I've seen him in, I've only ever really watched him in True Detective. I've never really
Mm,
seen him in a dramatic form outside of that. And
mhm.
I may be forgetting something, but like there's obviously Zombieland, there's White Man
Yeah.
Can't Jump.
Mhm.
I'm blanking on like
If
Friends with Benefits.
yeah, hilarious in that. I thought he was so funny.
Oh, he was fantastic. So good at that. But
If
yeah,
you
like so
haven't,
I'm so used to seeing him in that sort of
mhm,
environment and that
yeah,
sort of movie and film. So I'm definitely all in. Like I'm like he sold me on True Detective. I'm kind of curious about this.
yeah,
I don't know if something I'll be jumping on right away, but I'm gonna say definitely hot because this has
perfect,
Woody Harrelson, uh, that charming bastard. I'm all in on that one.
awesome.
All right, I'm excited for this. The show is back. Atlanta, FX Atlanta is set to start production in April.
Hmm.
Very excited about that. After I want to say nearly a 2 year hiatus. Have you seen
Hmm.
Atlanta before?
I haven't. I'm waiting to
My
for it to
God,
finish because I like binging shows, as you can tell by now.
be missing on art, but that's a you problem.
That is a me problem.
So for anyone who hasn't seen Atlanta, 2 seasons are available on FX. I don't know what streaming services it will be available in the US, but yeah, it's on FX. Show created and starring Donald Glover,
Glover, there you
aka
go.
aka Childish Gambino, uh, also co-starring Lakeith Stanfield and Brian Tyree Henry. I'll always have a tongue twist with his name, but essentially, Tyree's character is this up and coming rapper in Atlanta. Glover plays his manager, and Stanfield plays their dopey friend. Like it's a cool friendship
Hmm.
story about life in Atlanta,
Hmm.
about the music game, about the industry. It's a well written, well acted show. I will say, of all the current active shows right now, that is probably my second favorite show.
Okay.
I have to I have to rethink this, but Fargo's number one,
Okay.
another amazing show by FX, which is the
Hmm.
greatest channel ever.
Wow.
Uh, you can't beat FX. So Fargo's number one
Yeah.
with Atlanta number two. It's a great show.
Hmm.
There looks like they are filming in Europe. So part of my curiosity is if they are going on tour and see, and maybe they blow up. Who knows? But I'm
Hmm.
excited and I can't wait for that to come back. So based on the show, hot or not?
Oh, dude, it sounds weird because I haven't seen it, but I've always been hot on the show. I've loved the idea of the show, and I love Donald Glover as a creator, and I love Lakeith Stanfield as an actor. I
Yeah,
absolutely adore him and everything that he's done. Get Out, Judas and the Black Messiah, the list goes on. So I'm hot on the show. I haven't seen the first two, but if there's as soon as it finishes, that's the first show that I'm just gonna sit down and just watch all the way through. And so I'm even happy that it's coming back. So definitely hot.
it might be a while for you to binge the entire thing because the big gap we just have between seasons 2 and 3.
Mm,
Don Glover's schedule is obviously quite
of
busy,
course.
and Stanfield. This is his first. This is the first work he's done where I've noticed him.
Mhm.
Um, I can't think of anything else really prior he's been in. Like I know he was Seattle Compton in a very short cameo as Snoop Dogg, but besides that, I haven't really seen him in anything. But
Mhm.
since the show, I've seen him. I see him in everything else.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it's one of those things like, oh, I never seen a white car before until you buy a white
And
car,
then they're
and I see it
everywhere.
everywhere, right? So,
Yeah.
he is hilarious in that. Like he's actually one of
Mhm.
my favorite TV characters because he's absolutely funny in that. Yeah, definitely check it out.
Nice. If
Watch
you
it ASAP.
haven't, Varun, I know maybe you have, but Sorry to Bother You. He's
Great
really,
movie.
really good in that.
Great movie. That came out afterwards.
Yeah. So
That
like,
came out
so
afterwards.
you
But yeah,
have,
so
yeah.
everything Lakey Stanfield I watched.
Oh, I see what
Also,
you mean. Okay.
yeah. Like everything since the show I've watched, but I've never really seen anything prior to that. So I
Got
think
you.
it's the
Got you.
first work I've seen him in where
Mhm.
he's been fantastic. All right, man. Balls in your court.
The other thing I want to talk about is the new. Fuck, I
Come on,
totally
man.
forgot the name of the movie. Hold on. Can we can cut that, please? I totally because I was going through and I totally forgot the name of the movie.
Dude, Wrath of Matt. Come on.
I know I
You
for
took
some
my
reason
movie and you choked.
I thought Wrathman.
Okay, Matt.
All right,
Let's go.
3, 2, 1. The other movie I want to bring our attention to is The Wrath of Man, the Jason Statham and Guy Ritchie film.
Stole my thunder, man. But yeah, go
That
on. It's okay.
sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you.
It's all right.
Not.
I hope you have something else, man. I was really excited. I saw the trailer, and I know this comes at a good time because a few weeks ago we were just talking about action stars, and you had said, "Oh, Jason Statham tried to be an action star," and I was really wanting to say, you know what? Look at this. Look at this. Look at. I mean, it's fantastic. And like he's so stoic, but he also looks like a kind of a softie. But then he'll also like murder you four different ways. So I really liked it. And Guy Ritchie, after doing The Gentleman, I was sold on him as a director. So what?
Okay, we are going off topic of hot or not. It wasn't until The Gentleman you were sold on Guy Ritchie.
Well, I
You're
never like
lying.
actively. No, I never actively was like, oh, this is a Guy Ritchie film until I was like, oh, The Gentleman. Oh, okay, and then The Wrath of Man.
So you haven't seen Snatch.
No, I have, but I wasn't thinking, oh, okay, this is a Guy Ritchie film.
Okay.
Yeah. But like after The Gentleman, I was like, oh, okay, like now I know who like he's now on my radar because before then it was just rom-com directors like Damien Chazelle and like we mentioned Woody Allen. But like, I'm not a big action guy, so I never like really focused on action directors.
This movie is directed by the Guy Ritchie,
The
who did amazing movies like both Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes, The Gentleman, as Murad just mentioned,
Mhm.
Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, where I had to watch it twice because of all the British lingo in there I did not understand, and
What's that
Snatch.
movie?
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which
Not heard of
also
that.
Jason Statham and Richie's first movie together.
Oh, okay.
Snatch is their second movie together. This is their third movie together.
Oh,
It's a heist movie. It's an
mhm.
action movie starring Statham. Has Post Malone in it. Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Post Malone. No, I don't know how Post Malone's gonna do, but like I'm blazing hot. I'll set
Mhm.
this room on fire. That's how hot it is. I'm all
Wow.
in. I'm watching it the second it comes out.
That's a hot room.
This yeah, man. I've posted the trailer on our
Mhm.
Instagram page. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I'm pretty sure of all the views that's on that trailer, I'm like 90% of it. I've seen it 100 times
That's called
on my phone,
dedication.
on the iPad. I'm all in. If you get a
Yeah.
0% Rotten Tomatoes rating, I don't give an F. I am all in on this.
Mhm.
So as you can tell, I'm a little excited.
Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Just tone it down, maybe like a smidge. But I like it.
Guy Ritchie needs me in a movie as like bank teller number one being robbed. Like that's it. I'm gonna be that guy or security guard number two. Like I don't need a name.
Not even the first security guard.
No, no, number two. First security guard
You're
always try to be
selling yourself
hero.
short.
First security guard always try to be hero and dies. I don't.
That's
I'm not
fair.
about to
I'm not
die.
trying to die. Yeah, we're not
I'm
trying to
not. I'm
die.
not trying to
Makes
die.
sense. Makes sense.
Right.
Makes sense. You know
Every
it's a
heist
movie
movie,
though,
the first
right?
security guard who plays superhero, they die
That's
or get
fair.
shot up. I don't want to be that. I'm the guy. All right, cool, man. Take the key. You clearly don't watch enough heist movies to know what security guard to be, man.
I'm
It's
not.
okay. I forgive you.
As long
Um,
as two people aren't falling in love, I'm like,
oh my god.
Rude, take us home, buddy.
Take us home. So this news just came out. I'm very disappointed in this, but it's not the news that came out. I just want to know your reasoning behind it. So Mortal Kombat was set to release on April 16th on HBO Max and theaters everywhere.
Mhm.
In Canada, I believe would have been available on iTunes Rent. I have no idea, but it would have been available everywhere on the 16th. Now pushed by 1 week
Mhm.
without any reasoning.
Mhm.
So the question is, what's your take on that?
I don't have a take. I honestly didn't even know there was a Mortal Kombat movie coming out up until
Okay,
maybe 3 days ago.
I'm cutting you off. So I don't know why we do. I don't know why we do this. If this podcast ends abruptly and people's like, "What happened to these guys?" You guys know why.
He's gonna kill me.
So my guess to this is was Snyder's Justice League movie that just came out with Godzilla vs King Kong coming out, I believe, this weekend.
Mhm.
It sounds like HBO, Warner Brothers wanted to give it an extra week for everyone to sort of stream these other movies and to be able to watch them and maybe create a bigger break. So
Hey,
for that idea, are you
mhm.
hot on that or are you not on that? If that for that theory, that idea.
No, I totally. I was just gonna say like that theory makes sense. right? I'm only ignorant because I heard that they were making a movie, and I was never really hot on that movie, so I just stopped paying attention, right? And like if a movie doesn't interest you, it doesn't interest you, and like that, it is what it is. So, but if that is the timing and that's what we're looking at, then it absolutely makes sense, right? Like, Zack Snyder's Justice League came out and it had like 5 million people watching it right away within like the first, I think, 2 hours of it coming out, right? So obviously people were really hot on that. And with Godzilla and King Kong coming out, and that's just a fun monster movie. Like you just want to see some buildings being destroyed and things like that happening. With Mecha Godzilla, it looks super sick. So I get it. I understand if that is the theory behind it. I'm 100% for that idea, and I think it's a smart decision because you wouldn't really want to go up against heavy hitters, especially because the older Mortal Kombat movies have had a history of just being terrible. So
I can't even argue that.
yeah, because they're just bad
So
movies,
they
man.
are
So
bad.
like that's
Yeah.
why this one was so far like off
Yeah.
my radar that I did not tune in on it. But I mean, you sound like you're sort of excited for it.
Oh, I have no doubt that this movie will disappoint me.
Okay.
It's very, very rare for a video game movie, especially so nostalgic, do so well.
Mhm.
However, I am still gonna watch it right away because it's freaking Mortal Kombat. Blood, guts, and gory. Uh, before we sign off, man, there's one show I'm watching right now, and I want to recommend to you and everybody. I
Mhm.
posted this on Instagram. It's a show called Invincible,
Mhm.
starring Stephen Ewan, J.K. Simmons. Pretty sure I butchered Stephen Ewan's name already, but is an adult animated show.
Yeah.
It's a superhero show.
Mhm.
If you've seen the show, like The Boys from Amazon Prime, this is also streamed on Amazon Prime. 3 episodes are currently out right now. I really recommend it to everybody. Uh, don't recommend it for kids because the amount of blood, guts, and glory that's
Mhm.
involved in this show,
Mhm.
especially some suggestive content that may not be right for some minors. But it's a great show. I
Mhm.
highly recommend it. It's about Stephen Yeun's character, who is a half alien, essentially, where J.K. Simmons is like a Superman type of figure where it's coming out from outer space
Mhm.
on Earth to be his big protector. But then, is his dad really good? Not good? Is he really evil? Is something else happening? I'm sure I'm not doing a great job selling on this, but I do recommend for everybody. It is my favorite show right now.
Mhm.
I cannot wait till next the Friday for more episodes to come through. 'Cause I'm just gonna binge right through it. It's not one of those things where I can't wait for all of them to come out. I need to watch it right away.
Mhm.
And I felt this way about this type of show since The Boys, which
Wow.
another amazing show.
Is this on Amazon
These are
Prime?
on Amazon Prime. These are
Okay.
shows that I wish the Titans TV show would be when it comes to
Mhm.
the combination of drama, the violence, the rated R. But yeah, that's it. That's my little spiel for end of the show.
Can
Um,
I? So because you said that, it reminded me of a show that I've been watching.
okay,
It's
okay.
Harley Quinn. It's starring Kaylee Cuoco, Lake Bell, Ron Funches, and a few other smattering of characters. But it's an animated TV show, uh, like based on the Harley Quinn character, based on the Joker, and it gives her backstory. And man, dude, they just let everything fly. Like
Great show. I've
great.
seen it. Great
Okay,
show.
great. Yeah.
I
So
absolutely love it.
yeah, yeah. So I think that's how characters like that were supposed to be presented, and I'm glad that they're finally given the time and space to really let loose and say whatever they want. And I know it sounds kind of crude, but when you give those characters the time and space, it really gives them that much more depth rather than Harley Quinn's not supposed to be a character that's like a goody two shoes or like that's a character who swears. That's a character who is outwardly like abrasive and violent. So to tone it down in that regard, it felt weird to me. So I'm really glad that this is there to offset that other side of it.
Thanks for the recommendation, man.
Mhm.
With that, we'll finally sign off.
Yes.
Good night,
And
y'all.
so, good night. Peace.